Happy Thursday. Thanks for jumping on. We're going to talk really about kind of the basis of what we are and what we're doing as an organization and how we can attract and connect with additional businesses, additional agents, customers, kind of all the way around. And really, understanding what the basis of the type of marketing is that we do. And that's really what the focus here is today. And as always, if you guys have questions, you can drop it in the chat. You can raise your hand. You can, unmute and ask if you'd like. I want feedback as we go through this. I'm relying on the video a little bit to give me feedback as to whether you're understanding me or not. So if you could be on video, I appreciate it. But I really want to make sure that everybody gets what we're talking about. I'm going to share, the recording, and I'll share some materials at the end. But I want to make sure that you are getting as much out of this as you can. And if there are questions and you're too shy or you're embarrassed and you don't want to ask, you can feel free to drop them in the WhatsApp group or message me independently. But there's no such thing as a dumb question. The only one is the one that you don't ask. So I really want to make sure that everybody understands this and the information that we're sharing is valuable to you and helps you move the ball forward. Because the whole idea is to keep you moving, keep you motivated, and allow you to have the tools and everything you need to make progress. All right, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about really organic marketing, and that's the baseline of what we're doing. When we grow our network, we connect with vendors, we recruit agents, we continue to grow and expand organically. And I'm gonna go really into detail as to what that is, how that works, and how we can implement it effectively. And I'm going to give you some tools to help with that process as well. So, all right. So what is organic marketing? It really is anything that's a free type of marketing. It is marketing without paid ads, because you really have two different types of marketing. You have paid marketing, and then you have organic marketing. And we're focusing very, very heavily on the organic marketing side. It's relationship based, which means it's building connections. It's not really transactional. It's not like every person you meet, you're looking for them to buy something, or you're looking for them to sign up for becoming a vendor or becoming a paid vendor or any of those things. You're really looking to build connections with people, because the more connections you have, the more opportunities you have. And it really is the XP advantage, where we leverage our community for business growth. And that's really what XP and the XP network and the community is all about, is building community, leveraging that community to continue to grow not just the XP family, but your local networks and the local businesses that we're out there representing, to make them as strong as possible. So this is an incredibly powerful tool when we know how to use it. And I'm sure a lot of you have been part of some type of organic marketing, and we'll get into that here as we go through this process. But I want to kind of level set as to where we are and what this is, and allow you to understand what organic marketing is. I don't want to assume that anybody knows. I want to assume that we're kind of all starting at the same level, and that we're just going to build on it from there. So why does this matter? So it allows us to grow without paid ads. You don't have to put money in order to connect with people and to grow your network. It's sustainable. It's a very proven and well-known strategy. It gives us an advantage for organic marketing. It sets us apart from the Angie's List, the Thumbtacks, from the other ad-driven platforms that are out there. It gives us the opportunity to have more visibility, because every agent has the opportunity to touch more people, and it gives you the opportunity to be seen by more vendors, more other agents, more clients, and more connections just overall in your communities. And then in the end, it gives us a better opportunity for income, because we attract more vendors, we connect with more agents, and then we end up getting more commissions in the end. So this is why organic marketing matters, and that's why marketing in general matters. But that's what this process is, and kind of the end goal. We want to get free marketing, free attention. We want to connect with as many people as possible. We want to be visible as much as we can, and we want to turn that into income for ourselves and for our vendors. So what is organic marketing? It really, again, it's the free methods at the bottom. It's building relationships with those free methods, and then that relationship builds trust. And that trust increases your credibility through natural conversation, through natural methods. We're not trying to do anything hokey here. We're not trying to do anything, that's unethical. It really is just building trust within your network. And that trust will naturally turn into purchasing conversations, vendor conversations, other agents and customers looking at you and looking at your network as it grows, as really kind of that connecting point for all the businesses in the community. So why does it work, and why does it work specifically for XP? It's community powered. Again, we're really, really big on community. So it's growth through shared connections. The more connections you make, and social media is a great opportunity for this, but the more connections that you make, the more people you can touch and the more people they can touch, and it's just a compounding effect. Because you may touch 10, but each one of those 10 may touch another 10. And now you've touched 100 and 1,000 and 10,000 people in a way that we never could independently. And that's why this community-driven approach really works so well. It builds long-term trust and lasting relationships. Almost everything I do is organic marketing based, and it's something I learned years ago. And it's very, very effective at building long-term relationships. I can still reach out to people that I may not be working with now, but I worked with, 4 or 5 years ago, because I have built a strong relationship, and they'll refer me, or they'll still think highly of me and what we've done together. And it builds those lasting relationships. And that's kind of the idea about this whole thing, is the stronger those relationships are, the more referrals we get, and the more we can leverage those referrals to drive more relationships, drive recommendations, drive more people into the XP network. And we don't have to worry about an ad budget. That is for an agent not having to worry about spending money to attract new customers or new clients or new vendors is a huge kind of relief for most. These are proven strategies to attract people to connect with larger groups that doesn't require you paying money to Facebook or Google or some print ad or something along those lines. We're going to dive really deep into strategies for connecting with people that don't cost any money. So hopefully everybody's good with that. Nobody wants to spend money if they don't have to. So what are the tools that we're going to be using? Well, a lot of what I talk about and a lot of what I'm going to dive into is around social media. Posts, building visibilities, sharing your stories, sharing what you're doing. And there's a reason for that. I'm going to kind of go into it after we get through this kind of flower here, but it's a really huge leverage tool that we have. Groups, again, within social media, talk about Facebook groups, LinkedIn communities, depending upon what platform you're on. Direct outreach, whether it's DMs or text messages to help connect with individuals. It could be WhatsApp. I've not been a WhatsApp user until I joined this community, and now I'm on WhatsApp all the time. But there's lots of different DM and outreach tools. It's not just text message, messenger, take your pick. Local networking. Again, these are anything that's free is organic marketing. So when we talk about local networking, it could be business meetups, it could be church gatherings, it could be anything where you're networking with other people. And they don't have to necessarily be business owners. They could be people that are interested in potentially starting a business, and they could be agents. They could be people that are looking for a service. There's lots and lots of different opportunities for connecting and networking with people. And nothing's off the table when we talk about organic marketing. It can be anything. It could be as boring as cold calling or knocking on doors. Nobody wants to do that, but that could be organic. But local networking, in-face events gives you an opportunity to really build trust a little faster than you would on social media. It's just a much slower process, but it's a great opportunity if you are in, a local, and I just started playing pickleball. So if it's a local pickleball event, I could go there and I could be talking to people about this opportunity. So anything is a networking opportunity. And then referrals, getting testimonials from satisfied connections. When I say connections, it doesn't have to be a customer, just somebody that had a positive interaction. And getting those testimonials are huge levers to pull when we're posting stuff on social media, when we're proving out to people that are skeptical about the process. Hey, we've got these testimonials from John and Anna and Nicole about how well this process worked, whether they were an agent or whether they were a local small business, and we were able to drive business for them. And we're getting that feedback. So as you're working with businesses, as you're recruiting agents and you're bringing them on into your network, we want to stay in touch with them and we want to get feedback from them. Say, hey, how are things going? And getting those testimonials back so that we can utilize that in our organic marketing, post it in the Facebook groups, use it in your own Facebook posts, that kind of stuff. So referrals and testimonials are a huge opportunity for this. So we're going to get some new resources today. I've spent the day putting some stuff together that I think is going to be really helpful. I've got a killer personal profile kind of step-by-step guide. Again, I talked about social media. Social media is really, really important, but the way you present yourself on social media is just as important. If you've got, and hopefully I don't embarrass anybody on here, but if you've got a bunch of people on your profile that are probably not people that you would like to represent you, you may want to go through and do some cleaning up. I've seen a lot of people where I go through look at their profile and they've got nothing but half-naked men and women on their friends list. I'm like, yeah, you probably need to clean that up a little bit. That's probably not the type of person that you're looking to attract. But you also want to make sure that you're presenting yourself well. And I've got a checklist that's going to go through that, and we'll also touch on it here in a bit. And then if you do think you have a pretty good profile, I've got an audit checklist for you just to go through and make sure, see if there's anything you need to tweak, kind of score yourself, see how good your profile is. And then for daily tracking, this is something that I use every day. I have my assistant use every day, is to track our performance. Because if we don't track it, we don't know how good we're doing or how much effort we're putting in. So I'm going to share a daily tracker for what I use every day to track my output, because I know my effort is going to determine the inputs or the results that I get. So I'm going to show you exactly what that is and how that works. So organic marketing is a bit of a mindset shift for a lot of people. We're shifting our perspective, because some people think that what we're doing is just selling. It's selling, 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 and it's really not. It's much more of just connecting and sharing what we're doing, building consistency, small daily actions, posting once a day, reaching out to a couple of people a day, just having those small daily actions, which is why I talked about the daily tracker, because it's so important to be consistent. In social media and in networking in general, the more often you're seen, the higher your trust level is. And in an age where trust is so low, you need to be consistently in front of people in order for them to start to feel like they know who you are and start to trust you. And that's those small daily actions. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take time to do it consistently. And then focusing on your community, creating value for others, sharing other people's information, helping these other businesses grow, and connecting people that you may not get a direct lead from them, you may not get a direct vendor from them, but you may, by connecting those people, end up with multiple connections later. So this is really a shift in the way we think about marketing and the way we think about attracting and connecting with people. And again, you're not selling, you're connecting. You're helping businesses. You're supporting the growth goals. You're learning what their problems are and helping find a solution for them. And the XP Network is the solution for most of them. Creating opportunities, again, connecting people to the possibilities, connecting agents with an opportunity to have a revenue stream that they didn't know that they could have, and something that they're already doing, but now they're seeing the possibilities because of the connections that you make. And then again, building your community, being a connector and not worrying so much about being a closer, because a lot of people think, oh my God, I'm terrified of sales. Well, you're not being a salesperson. We don't want you to be a salesperson. If you can sell, great, that's fantastic. That's just an extra skill for you. Good on you. Makes it easier for you to overcome objections. But if you're not a closer, if the sales kind of makes you feel like cringy, or you don't like the idea of being called a salesperson, that's fine. We're just connecting people and we're just sharing what we already know. So if you've ever had a conversation with a group of friends about where you're going to dinner or a movie to go see, you've already done the sales part. You've already been a salesperson. You've already convinced them as to why they need to go check out this restaurant or why this movie's so good. So we're already being salespeople. It's just a matter of changing that mindset and applying it to what we're doing here and connecting these businesses, connecting other customers with a business they may not know about, but they need. Hopefully that makes sense. Everybody good? Cool. All right. So again, talking about progress over perfection. You don't make this happen in a day. You don't go from 0 to 100 and have everything working and have everything going and feel comfortable with being on video or feel comfortable with social media or feel comfortable talking to people about business. That doesn't happen overnight. We're talking small 1% daily improvements compound over time. Taking that little step, don't wait for perfection. Don't wait to feel like you're ready, because if this is something you're not ready for, you're not going to be ready tomorrow. You're never going to be ready. Do the uncomfortable thing. Do that one step that you're like, man, I just don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I feel good about doing that. Do it anyway. Why? What's the worst that can happen? Make that post that you've been kind of holding back on making a post because you don't know what to say. Use Chat GPT, put it in there, throw something out there, put it out. Guess what? No one's going to see it anyway. When you throw it on social media, very few people see it, especially if you're not posting consistently. So if you're not posting a lot, just post it. Nobody cares. No one's going to say anything. And if you do, somebody does say something, who cares? Again, I post 5 times a day, 5 to 6 days a week. So I've had plenty of hate. I've had plenty of people that have trolled me, plenty of people that have said negative things. A bunch of people now start getting on there and posting about other stuff on my post. It's fine. I don't care. I'm trying to share and help people as much as I can. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait to take that next step. Don't wait to reach out to that business, because now's the time. Just do it. Have that conversation. And then 100% consistency beats talent every time. If I do something 80% well every single day, I'm going to do that better than that one person who's fantastic at it that only does it once. I just have more opportunity. So continue to do it. Continue to keep the little things going every single day and just be consistent. Make a conscious effort to make consistent in what you're going to do every single day, and that you're going to move yourself forward. This doesn't, and by all means, this doesn't just apply to this. This applies to everything that we do in our daily lives. We had a conversation with Chris and Deanna about going to the gym the other day. Going to the gym 5 days a week, 4 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever it is, you have to be consistent. Otherwise, you don't see results. You can't go to the gym once and think that you're going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger the next day. You have to go multiple times a week over years to see those kind of results. And this is no different. Does it take years? No, but it does take time. So let's talk about our personal brand. And as we're thinking about networking and social media, and how do we put together a brand for our XP agents, and this applies to the business, the vendors too, but for the agents, when we're looking at creating a personal brand, there's a ton on social media about creating a brand and doing all this and buying all these courses and all that. It's not that complicated, but you have to, again, do it with thought. And for me, I think it starts with kind of putting together who your bio is, defining who you are as a connector. What do you like to do? Who is it that you like to connect with? What types of businesses do you like to work with? What type of people do you talk to? And what type of connector are you? I'm not naturally an extrovert. I don't go to a networking event and feel like I need to talk to everybody. That's just not me. I'm not comfortable doing that. But I can get on social media, I can do this, and I can connect with people. I can, if I'm in a room, if I'm doing a training, if I'm doing some type of engagement, I enjoy that. But just going to a networking event is really not my thing. I don't feel comfortable. So identifying who you are and what you like to do. Craft your story. How did you get started with XP? How did you get into this? What led you to it? And just understanding, what your story is, that's going to be part of your brand. That's going to be who you are and how you're representing yourself. And then again, optimizing your profiles. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a second, but clear messages across your platform. My suggestion is that you use one platform. I like Facebook, and make sure that you have a very clear profile that explains who you are and what you do. And again, we talked about that. We're going to talk about it again. And then maintain consistency. Make sure that what you're posting and what you're communicating is in line with the people that you want to talk to, in line with what their interests are and what your brand values are as a person. Everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to come across differently. Don't think you have to be somebody else. Be yourself, because that's going to be what attracts people that you like to work with to you. And it's going to be what's going to allow you to succeed in this. Because if you try to be phony, if you try to be somebody you're not, you're going to struggle all the way down the line. Hopefully that makes sense. And remember, you're a community connector. People buy from people that they trust. If you build trust, they're automatically going to start reaching out to you. Does it take a little bit of time? Sure. But the more they trust you, like if you were to go to people that you know, people that you're already connected with, they already have a level of trust with you. They're already going to refer you to friends. So they're already have that level of trust. And as you build your brand, you're going to increase your level of trust within your community. And then position yourself as a helper, not really a seller. Again, we talked about that before. We want to help people. We want to collaborate, make those connections, show these vendors, show these other agents that you're there to help them and that you're there to help make their business better, help them start a business, help them grow their business. And you're not there just to sell them something. You're not there just to get them to sign the line that says they're going to pay $500 and then $100 a month, because that's just the start. That's to get them rolling. And then you're there to help connect them with other vendors, other customers, other agents, other people that can help them grow their business. So let's talk about the personal profile. This is really the checklist thing that I'm going to give you guys after this presentation, but you want to be really clear with your bio. Focus on helping the community, not selling. Those are the things that you want to really focus on is, in a clear bio, because you have that little line underneath your name. It's not very long, so you need it to be really clear. Utilizing, again, Chat GPT, if you don't know what to say, is a great way of just saying, hey, this is who I help. This is what I do. If you know anybody that wants, to get started or claim their directory listing, send me a DM. Something really clear and concise, but that helps to portray who you are and what you do. And that's one of the first things people see after they see your pictures. Friendly visuals. Make sure that you have a good cover image and then you have a good, clear photo of you. Don't use a brand logo. Use a smiling picture of you and don't have a group photo, because then people don't know who you are. Again, you want a close-up picture of yourself, and that represents who you are and makes it easy for people to connect with you. People connect with faces. And then accessible contact information. Make it easy for people to reach you, whether it's an email, a link to your vendor link, whatever it may be, but you want to give people that land on your page an easy way for them to reach out to you. And probably either DM me or send me an email is probably the easiest way, because nobody wants to put their phone number on there. So just don't do that. You want to go ahead and just put your easy way for them to contact you, which again, DM, email, and then including your vendor link for a bonus. So everybody good with that? Cool. So let's start talking about content and start talking about what do we post. When we start talking about organic marketing, a lot of it has to do, again, with social media. And what do we post? People get stuck in, I don't know what to post. I don't know how often to post. I don't know how to format it. I have all these questions. Well, storytelling is the best way to share content. People like a story. People like to know what's going on. It makes them feel like they're kind of on the inside of a secret that only you and them know. So sharing stories is a really great way of creating content. And again, you want to share your journey. What is it that you're doing? What do you have going on in your journey with XP? What have your experiences been? Why did you get started? Things that you've run into that were challenges. Wins, what have you seen? What, small wins, big wins. What is it that you've done that you wouldn't have done if you had not joined the XP community? Focusing on the mission, your purpose. You're helping businesses. What is it you're doing? What's the community impact? What's going on in the community? Businesses that you've worked with or seen transformations, connections that have been created. What kind of network are you building? What kind of network are your businesses building? And then being authentic, telling real stories, not hype. You don't have to make stuff up. You don't have to be over the top. Just be yourself. And again, it's easier to do it if you're just being yourself. Genuine experiences, what you're doing, don't overly hype things. If you're running into roadblocks, other people are running into roadblocks too. If you've had a challenge, somebody else is going to run into that challenge. Sharing that experience and how you overcome it is a really great way to connect with other people that are kind of going down the same path that you've been down. And then real results. Again, sharing your results, sharing other people's results, sharing vendors' results, all of those results, even if it's a customer. and I think these are probably going to be really powerful, is if you had a customer that you connected with a remodeling company and they had their kitchen remodeled and showing, what that customer had before and after and saying, hey, you were the reason that they were able to connect and get that incredible result. That's a great story that we can share and we can tell. And social media is a great way to do that. So this is kind of the framework. And the next slide is going to be kind of a day-by-day example. But this is, if you follow these 5-step framework, you'll never run out of content ideas. Never. You'll have as many content ideas as you want. And we're not talking about posting 5 times a day, just once a day. If you just do once a day, again, share your story, a vendor spotlight. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a business that you have worked with. If you are new and haven't connected with any business, talk about a business that you like. This is a great opportunity to post them, tag them in the post, and then message them afterwards, say, hey, I heard really good things about you, or I had a great experience with you, and I wanted to share that story. Again, sharing information. Business tips that you pick up along the way, whether it's an agent tip, a business tip, something that you see, or something that you run into in working with other businesses that frustrates you, and sharing that kind of information. And then behind the scenes stuff. Show your progress. What are you doing? How's your team doing? How are your vendors doing? Sharing some behind the scenes stuff that you're doing is another. It's a great opportunity to share the real world stuff that's going on, because again, we don't want to totally curate what we're doing. We still want to share who we are and that we're people. So doing that kind of stuff and then sharing that, those types of posts and those images, again, if you can show your face, the more you show your face, the better. But that's a great opportunity if you have a team. If you have vendors that you're going out and you're meeting, getting a selfie with you and the vendor that you sign up and posting that, great opportunity to share that kind of stuff. So as I said, this is kind of a planner. This is Monday through Friday, things that you could post. Simple XP story or business growth, a vendor shout out, business tip on Wednesday, another XP story or business growth, and then kind of a direct offer to agents or vendors saying, hey, if you want to join the XP network, this is how you do it, and having a clear call to action for them to connect with you in order to claim their free listing or learn more about this business opportunity that they didn't even know existed just by connecting people and making money. So the one thing to understand with marketing and business is visibility creates opportunity. The more visible you are, the more often you post, the more often you're in front of other people, the more opportunities you're going to have. And it's the same thing for the vendors. The vendors, the more they're seen, the more you're sharing their information, the more likely they are to be successful, the more likely you are to build your team, build your network, build your net worth, your recurring, all of that. Being visible is the key to growing a business. I don't care if you're an agent, a vendor, doesn't matter. Businesses grow on visibility. You're not going to go to a gym you've never heard of. You're not going to go to a landscaper that you don't know. First of all, you're not even going to find them. So you've got to make sure that you're as visible as you can be, and then you're sharing that with your community. Hopefully this makes sense to everybody.
Yes, it does.
Perfect. So let's talk about engagement and being strategic about our engagement, because this is something that I think gets missed a ton when we start talking about posting and social media engagement and social media content. A lot of people post and ghost. They post content, they never follow up, they never engage with anybody else's content. They doom scroll, they look at everybody's stuff, they don't even like anything, they just are kind of lurking in the background. Well, you've got to be strategic about your engagement here. And this is a really, really big opportunity to put yourself in front of a lot of other people that you wouldn't be able to normally connect with by using other Facebook groups. Again, I think I talked about this last week, but you want to connect with 3 to 5 large Facebook groups in your neighborhoods and in your communities so that you can see what's going on. You can see people that are looking for, businesses and looking for help and, all the different things that go on in these Facebook groups. But now you can go in there, like the post, answer questions, tag another business. These are huge opportunities to connect with other people, let them see you. Again, they'll see you as engaging and helpful, and not just, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, buy my stuff, do whatever I want. It's more, hey, I'm trying to help you out. I know that Joe Smith is a really great plumber, and I saw that you needed a plumber. Here's a great connection. I'll just go ahead and tag him and just go ahead and make sure that he knows. So these are great opportunities to connect in these groups. And again, not a ton of time. You're in the bathroom for however much time. Scroll through, find somebody in a Facebook group, like the post, heart the post, whatever it is, make a comment, drop a GIF, whatever. Just make sure you're engaging with people, because when they start seeing your name pop up, you're going to show up more in their feed. This is a huge opportunity. The other thing, and it's not on here, but I think this has worked really well for me, is anytime somebody likes or comments on my post, I will go in there, tag them, and reply. Whether it's whether they've liked it, laughed at it, whatever, every single time I try to go in there, tag them, and do some type of funny reply. Why? Because again, it creates more visibility. Facebook loves to have the interaction. It's social, and it gives you more attention. So do that. Just get in the habit of anytime somebody responds on one of your posts, that you go in there and tag them. I don't care if it's your mom, your brother, your sister, whatever. Go in there, tag them, leave a comment. LinkedIn groups, again, professional networks. If you're looking for businesses or you're working with businesses that need other business clients, LinkedIn is a great way to do it. I think that's a level up from Facebook. I would get really good at Facebook first. If you've already got a good LinkedIn profile and LinkedIn following, by all means, use it. I find Facebook to be easier, especially when you're just getting started. And then again, in-person events. If you can go to an in-person event and you can shake hands, you can talk to people, learn what they're doing, learn about people. Again, letting them see you, it's a great opportunity to connect and to engage with people, real people, not just online people. So commenting strategy. So again, when you're commenting on things, you want to be helpful. You want to share valuable insights. Don't post just to be negative. If you find people that are doing that, just ignore them. Answer questions. If you find somebody that has a question about something you know something about, that's kind of the business related, or if it's a work from home group and you're trying to connect with agents, it's a great opportunity to say, hey, I saw that you had this problem. This is how we solve it with the XP network, or this is how I overcame that myself. And this is a great opportunity to answer questions and be helpful. And then tagging local businesses. I mentioned that earlier, boosting vendor visibility. So this is a huge opportunity to tag those businesses. And if they are in the XP network, you can go ahead and leave the link directly to their page right in the post. So now, not only are you being helpful, you're answering their question, you're providing them the vendor, you're tagging the vendor, and you're giving them the link. So now all they have to do is click on it and go right to the page. Boom, done. You get the referral, and you didn't have to do anything. All you had to do was be visible. So there's a strategy to it. You just have to kind of know what to do and what you're looking for. Any questions? Okay. Vendor visibility boost. Again, I think we just talked through this, but this gives you an in to talk to these local businesses, highlighting them publicly, featuring them in your post. So the way I would approach this is, if I have a need and I know that I have a need in my local network for, say, landscaping. I love landscaping, so I use it a lot as my example. If I know that I need a landscaper in Salina, but I don't have one, I'm going to highlight that, hey, here's a local landscaper that I know that does good work, and I'm going to feature them in my content. Then I'm going to tag them in that and say, what wonderful things I've heard about them, or I know about them from working with them. And then after I've done that, I'm going to send them a DM, and I'm going to message them to establish the relationship, just saying, hey man, I see what you're doing. You're doing a great job. If there's anything I can ever do for you, let me know. Now I'm just reaching out the olive branch. I'm just extending the olive branch just to make the connection. I can follow up with them later and extend the offer and say, hey, you know what? I'd love to get you listed in our directory. It's free. You have a second to chat. Boom. Now I've offered them an opportunity to hop on a call. I can walk them through exactly what it looks like to be on our platform. I can even go into the pitch if I want, but I can show them how it works and all the benefits they get. And that was a 3-step process, takes almost no effort, and you could do that every single week, multiple times a week. And that is building your pipeline, and it's the thing that it does the best is it shows that you're giving value to those businesses, because one thing they need is visibility. You're giving them visibility. You're not asking for anything. And then you do ask them for something and it's free. You just, it's really hard for them to say no after you've already given so much. So that gives you a great opportunity to just practice your pitch. Just practice how I'm having these conversations. So if we give value, it's a really easy conversation and they're likely to say, yeah, let's jump on a call. I'd love to learn more. And even if they're not ready, that's cool. I'll reach out in a couple of weeks and see if you're ready. No issue. You're just building your pipeline. So let's talk about some of the scripts. I just went through one kind of just off the top of my head, but are some of the scripts and some of the processes through DM. Initial contact. Again, you want it to be friendly, not pushy. You don't ever want to come across as pushy. You don't want to send big blocks of messages because people think you're spam and you're done. Follow up. You need to follow up. You need to have a process to follow up with people. And these are general reminders. You're not hounding people. You're not beating the hell out of them. You're just reaching back out with a quick touch point. And then if you have uncovered a need for them to go to the next step, which is, whether it's an agent, bringing on a new agent, or whether it's a vendor and going through the pitch with a vendor, whatever that next step is really the conversion. So initial contact, follow up with them, convert them to the next step. And that's one thing I want to make sure that everybody's clear on. Whenever you're having a conversation, your marketing and sales process, the sale is always the next step in your process. Again, the first DM, my first DM, the next step is a response. That's all I want. I just want them to reply. And then after they've replied, I want to find out, what is it that they're doing? What are they running into? Why are you having this conversation? And get that. Then the next step after that in my process is getting them the information about booking a call, whether it's, being an agent or a vendor. I just want to get them to book that call. So once they book the call, now I can say, okay, it's an agent conversation. Now, once I get them on the call, now we can pitch the actual agent. But I don't want to go from initial outreach to try to sell them on being an agent or being a vendor. That is not the approach. That'll fail and you'll get frustrated every time. You need to work through the steps. And the more natural it becomes, the faster you're going to be good at this. I can literally start a DM conversation in the morning and have somebody on the call in the afternoon pitching them on whatever it is. It can work just that fast. Sometimes it takes a week, but you can do it that day. It's just a matter of getting the reps in and getting the practice. So what do those scripts look like? So if I want to talk to a vendor, again, free, easy. Hey, John, would you be interested in a free listing in a community-powered business directory? I'm not pitching them on anything. I'm not really, telling them what it is. I'm just asking if they would be interested in a free listing in a community-powered business directory. What's to say no to? Again, I just want a response. And then once we get them in, hey, let's talk about upgrading. Let's talk about getting you into that next tier where you're the paid member, the XP Pro. Hey, whenever you're ready, XP Pro can get you even more visibility and lead tracking, more people, whatever. And again, this is just an easy flow of the conversation. You don't have to use these specifically. You can. They work just fine. But if it's somebody that you're talking to and you already have a conversation, this is just kind of the way we would guide it. Agent scripts, talking to somebody about an agent. Hey, would you ever be open to earning some extra income, helping small businesses grow? Anybody that says no to that is just going to be difficult to deal with anyway, and you probably don't want in your pipeline. Because everybody wants to help small businesses. Everybody wants to help their community. So this is a great opening line. And then a follow-up a few days later, hey, just checking in, any thoughts? Totally cool either way. Again, no pressure, just following up. And it's just that easy. Don't overcomplicate the process. Don't overcomplicate how you talk to people. It's the DMs, text messaging, even if you're at a networking event, it's just a conversation between two people. The more you think of it as a conversation, the easier this is. If you think you have to have the perfect phrase every time, you're going to struggle. But if you're just talking to, a business owner that's struggling with getting customers, it's just a guy or it's just a girl that's got a hair salon that she doesn't know how to find new people for. You're just trying to find out what she's doing, what they're doing, and seeing if they need help. That's it. It's just that easy. And I say it's just that easy. It took me months to get past that block, months to figure out that it was, I had a coach telling me, beat me over the head. You're overdoing it. You're overthinking it. It's really not that hard. So what if they're saying, not now, not ready. I'm not ready for this. Okay, that's cool. No worries. Timing is everything. Perfect. I'll be back in touch if you want to revisit this later. Again, you're respecting their time. They're not ready, but I'm going to keep the door open by saying, you know what? I'll follow up with you in a little bit. Maybe that little bit is a week. Maybe it's a month, whatever. But you want to continue to keep that door open. And then on social media, the way I do this, I'll go back in, flag their profile, and I'll go back in and start liking their post every so often. Or I'll comment on a post and make sure they keep seeing me. Or I'll tag them in one of my posts. So they continue to see me over and over again, whether they like it or not. I just want them to say yes or no. That's really all I want. I don't, if you don't like me, you don't like me. Then we're probably not a good connection anyway. Unfriend me, unfollow me, whatever. But if you keep seeing me, I can't tell you how many people I've had come back to me and say, you know what, I keep seeing your content in my feed, and I just knew I needed to reach out. That's just the way it works. But you have to be consistent and you have to have a strategy. So leveraging success stories. And this is something we talked about earlier, sharing wins without being salesy and without having a creepy vibe. When you have vendors that have a win, when you have agents that have a win, share it in your social media. Because if you show that Deanna's killing it out there, she is absolutely crushing it with building her network, or she just closed this client that you brought her, share that story. Because now other people are going to see it and they're going to get jealous. And they're going to want to know, how does that happen? How did they get that? I want that. So now, again, it attracts people to you. And then sharing results, concrete outcomes, not some sales pitch. Share what's actually happening. Share what you're seeing. You don't have to share money, but you can share, hey, these are the results. If you want to share money, that's fine. But sharing what happened, sharing the results for the businesses that you're working with, the agents that you're bringing on, your personal stories, whatever it is. And then using examples. Congratulations to vendor, Go Green here in McKinney that booked 3 new clients through the XP network this week. Again, they got results. Why aren't you? Because you're not on the network. You need to get in on this. And the way to do that is to reach out to me. And it's just that easy. And then again, encourage social proof. Social proof is huge in this industry. Ask your vendors, ask your agents for them to share their experiences. Just a simple request, share specifics. I actually, for the gym, I have a form that I've built out that I send to all of our members after they've been with us a certain period of time that's got, I think, 5 questions on it. And we do this to every single one. And you know what I do? I take that and turn it into social media content that we use over and over and over. And it goes into emails, and it goes into videos, and it goes into our websites. It goes everywhere. So these things, because you're going to get words and feedback, and we're going to ask you for this too, because we're also going to be reaching out to these people because we want to know what their experience is, because now we can use it everywhere. And not just you, but all the agents, all the vendors can share from the benefits of the ones that are doing really well. So make it easy to share, get that information. The more we have, the better. Testimonials, again, if we can get screenshots, if you have a chat going with somebody that's doing really well, like they're just kicking ass, screenshot it, post it. Hey, we normally want to blank out their names because you don't want somebody else reaching out to them, but share the post and they say, hey, yeah, I got 4 new customers this month because of, all the hard work that you're doing. That's something worth sharing. Quote, videos, snippets, whatever it is. Stories sell, bragging does not. So share the stories. Don't brag about yourself. People don't care about you so much. They really care about the story. So last thing here before I wrap up, and I'm going to have to say I'm doing pretty well on time. I really didn't know how long this was going to take, but we're right on time. So simple trackers. You have to track your daily activity. And I forgot my notebook downstairs. I was going to show you exactly what I do because I write all this down on pen and paper every single day. But simple spreadsheet, just tracking what it is. And actually, I've got this for you, so you don't even have to think about it on your own. A Trello board. I love Trello. If you've never used Trello, I don't suggest you just start for this. But again, it's a great way to visually track your pipeline and what you're doing and who you're talking to. And then tracking your results. Measure what matters for your growth. And the reason I put the spreadsheet together the way I did is so I can show you what's important, because there are certain actions that you can take today that are going to determine your success a week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks from now. And this just makes it easier. Because I know if I don't reach out to enough people, if I don't friend request enough people today and tomorrow, I'm going to have nobody to talk to in 2 weeks. So I have to kind of plant the seeds now so that I know that I've got people to talk to later. And I can look back and say, if I have a dip in activity or a dip in people that I'm talking to, I can look back and I can say, I dropped the ball. I didn't send enough messages. I didn't reach out. I didn't post. I didn't network, or my posting was trash. Whatever it was, something I did back here led to not having enough people to talk to here. So tracking your results and knowing what to track is really, really helpful. So here's the power hour. You only have so much time in a day. Let's condense it down to 60 minutes. And this doesn't have to be all done 60 minutes at once. Like I said, you're in the bathroom, you got 10 minutes, whatever. If you're my girlfriend, you're in there for 30 minutes every night, and who knows, she's got plenty of time to do her social media. So what we're doing is we've got 15 minutes to engage, comment, interact, groups, whatever it is, 15 minutes, 30 minutes to create content. Now I'm telling you, and I may not share it this week. I may wait till next week after I get some feedback, but we've got an AI tool that you could create a week's worth of content in 20 minutes, let alone 30. So this creating content is easy now. And then 15 minutes for outreach, sending your outbound messages, following up with people, whether you've already talked to them on the phone or you haven't, but having a structured plan for who you're following up with and making sure that you do it. You do this every single day, this hour. Again, it doesn't have to be done at once. It can be spread out throughout the day, 15 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon, and then in the evening. You will have a structured process that you can follow every day, and you're going to be way more successful than someone who just sits down for one day, does this for 3 hours, and then wonders why they're not getting the results. So if you just do this every single day, you're going to have way more success than if you try to do it all at once. And then if you have more time, if you're dedicating more time to it, you just multiply what you're doing. You're just doing more outreach, you're doing more engagement. Maybe you post more than once, and it just gives you more opportunity. Again, visibility gives you opportunity. So what are your next steps? Starting today. If you haven't done any of this already, you're going to start today. You're going to pick one strategy to implement, whatever it is, whether it's Facebook, and that's going to be your strategy, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's in-person networking, whatever it is. Pick one, you're going to do it. You're going to commit to 30 days. You're going to do it every single day. You can take Saturday and Sunday off if you want, or just Sunday, whatever, but stay consistent for a month. And then you're going to connect. You make sure you're part of the support groups. You're on the Facebook group, because we're going to start posting more in the Facebook group, and make sure that you're in the WhatsApp channel and you're asking questions. If you're not asking questions and you have questions, that's bad on you. Because if you want to know how to move forward, if you want to know, what do I do? How do I respond to this text message? Get in there and ask, because we're in there. We'll go in, we'll answer, we'll follow up, do whatever we can for you. So use the support that you have. And remember, real relationships create real referrals. This is a referral business. That's what we're talking about. Everything that we're talking about, all this organic stuff, is about referrals. So your daily actions are going to build the network and the income that you want to have for you, your family, the other people that you're connecting with. That's how you're going to build. We're going to grow this thing together, but everybody has to do their part, and everybody has to do it a little bit at a time. So that is, I believe, it for the presentation. Any questions before I go into giving free stuff away?
No, thanks.
All right.
Well, I do have a quick question. Before that, well, I want to say that this, presentation is really, really cool. I mean, it makes you think about, it gives you a guide on, how to do like small things, but everything adds up. So I really love the way that you put this together. And it's for us to obviously follow. If we can definitely share the PDF with us, it'd be awesome for us to have it handy. I have a question, because I don't know if it's because I'm old school or something, but when I think about Facebook, I definitely have a lot of friends that I don't know personally, right? But I also post a lot of my personal stuff on Facebook. So what do you suggest as far as how do is do you suggest for us to have one Facebook account just for business, or is better for us to do it from our personal accounts so that we actually can connect person to person? Is it safe to do that? I mean, I don't know, just I was just thinking about
Those
different
are
topics.
100% valid and great questions. So what I would say is your personal profile is your business profile,
Mhm.
but there's you can have multiple personal profiles. I've
Mm,
got 3 personal profiles. And
okay.
one thing to understand is that you can only have 5,000 friends. I say
Mhm.
that like you can only, but you get to a point where 5,000, I literally have to go in and delete people so I can add more.
Wow.
So I have to
Mhm.
try to figure out people that aren't engaging or aren't people I want to have connected
Mhm.
to. So you do that. Your main profile is going to turn into your business profile.
Mm,
And you
okay.
don't have to go in and start booting people off right away.
Mhm.
If there are people that are probably you need to clean up anyway, that's fine. If they're
Mhm.
super negative or whatever it is, you want to get rid of those people anyway. But
Mhm.
when I first started doing the Facebook thing, I was not really concerned about the people that were already there because
Okay.
I knew over time they were going to weed themselves out.
Mhm.
And I was just looking for connecting with people in all those Facebook groups that are really who I'm trying to connect with, whether it's
Mhm.
somebody that's, wants to have an opportunity to work from home or make some extra money, or maybe it's somebody that is running a business and they may not be ready now, but they may know that they need marketing or they need customers. They all need customers. Everybody needs customers, but they don't know me well enough to have that conversation. But I bring them in, I invite them to the Facebook group, and then I start nurturing them that way. So to answer your question, your personal profile is it. What have I done with my other one? I've got another one that I'm building, again, more contacts because I only have
Mhm.
5,000 on one. So I'm trying to build up another one, but I also
Mhm.
have one just for personal
Okay.
contacts, just for
Okay.
people, that are, close friends, people
We'll
at the
see.
gym, people that are in my other life, my real
Oh,
life,
I see.
my natural
Well,
stuff.
uh,
That's where I put those people.
I'm sorry, I just have a question about that. Hi, hi, Judy.
Yep.
Question, when you say the other one, you're talking about like a chicken have a fan page
No,
on Facebook?
so let me show you.
Is that a fan
Instead of
page?
talking about it, let me show you.
Thank you.
So this is my secondary profile. So this is my primary profile. This is my professional, blue check mark profile. And I've got the professional dashboard, and I highly recommend that you turn on professional mode in your profile. But when I go to friends, all friends, I've got 4,996 people. This didn't happen overnight. This took work every single day in growing my group. But I'm max. I've got 5,000 people. I can't add any more. So that's when I went in and I decided that I was going to add. Nope, not that one. Again, I told you I've got several
So the
profiles. So I've got
Tiger Tech, those are fan page.
well, so some of them are, but
Yeah.
these are not. These are just other profiles.
Oh, okay.
So
That's so
these are
Facebook do not make no restriction because you have a different profile, so it's okay.
no. You can't create a new account. You
Okay,
can
but
have
profile you can
multiple
make.
profiles. You can't, because I tried to create another account and they killed it.
Yeah,
So
the profile.
so I created this account and this one is fairly new and I'm up to 800 friends.
Okay.
So, and again, every single day, every single day we go in and request anywhere from 20 to 50 friends for this profile. Again,
Mhm.
trying to build a profile and then we invite them into a Facebook group, send them an outbound message, whatever it is. That's the process that I go through every day with this profile to try to build it up.
Got it.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, what you talk. Thank you.
What I'm thinking is in my case, maybe, and maybe it's gonna be the same scenario for everybody here, that we already have a personal profile with a lot of our friends and a lot of people that we don't actually know in person. We can keep that profile for our business personal profile, And then open a second profile and then start inviting just our actual friends too. We can
Yep.
keep that one for personal use and this one for business.
Yeah, because
Assuming.
there are things you can't do with these
Mhm.
secondary profiles that you can with your primary profile.
Mhm.
So that's why I say you turn your primary profile into your business one,
Yes.
and then create a secondary one. Like this is my secondary profile, and this is, this is just really
Mhm.
now it's really just friends. I mean, there's a bunch of people on here I don't know, but this is where I've put all of my friends now.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
So I've got really 3 profiles that I use. 2 of them are for business, 1 of them is for personal. All right, so the 3 things, and I'm going to drop these into WhatsApp after we wrap up here. This is the step-by-step guide for creating your killer profile. Again, this walks you through exactly what the steps are: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Again, choose one. Don't try to do all 3 if you don't have to. It just takes more time, and it's easy to get frustrated with this. So pick one and get really good at it. I've been doing this for years and I still use Facebook as my primary. So this walks you through how to create the cover, write your bio, adding contacts, enabling DM, all that stuff. Again, turn on professional mode, but this process is super easy. It's a few pages, walk you through step by step. Next, if you've already got a profile, this is just a checklist to go through, make sure that everything looks good, and then there's a scoring sheet at the bottom. How good does it look? That's it. Super easy. Last thing is the daily tracker. This is what I track every single day on how I know that I'm getting results and how I know I'm doing what I need to do in order to get results. So I put the date, whether it's the date or the day. Again, I print this out and write on it. Don't try to do it on your phone. Don't do it on a computer. Print it out, old school. I know I'm all about AI. I'm all about digital. This works best when it's sitting on your table or on your desk. So print it out, write on it. Friend requests sent today. Again, we're trying to grow our network. We're trying to build our network. If you can send 20 to 30 friend requests a day, do it. And then just tally how many you do. And if you send 5, and don't do everything all at once. Facebook doesn't like that. It'll flag it if it sees you do it all at once. So if I send 10 in the morning, maybe send 10 more at lunch or in the evening. And then just tally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. How many outbound messages did I send? Shoot, if you can get to 5 to 15 or 10 to 15, do that. That way you can, track. I hit my 10 or 15 outbound messages to new contacts, new connections, people that maybe, like to post, people that you potentially connected with, people that would be a good connection. Again, 10 to 15 outbound messages every day. You're probably going to get 3 to 5 replies depending upon who they are. And then how many replies did you get? Again, just tally as they come in. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to be tracked. Because I can tell you when I tried to do this in my head or just on the computer or on my phone, I sucked at it. I wasn't doing it. I wasn't getting any results. I was getting uber frustrated. So when you do this and you track it, you can look back and say, okay, I missed my 10 yesterday. I need to make it up today. And that way I know at the end of the week how many I need to get. And then if I've got people that I needed to follow up with, that, I sent out a first message and they never replied, I'll send a follow-up in a day or two just to try to, again, get them to engage. This is just numbers on this side. You're just tallying. This is where you put names down. If somebody replies and it becomes a meaningful conversation, like it's back and forth, write their name down. If I talk to Alma and she was having, she was interested in learning more about becoming an agent, I would write her name down that, hey, we're having a conversation. If it goes beyond that, like she's really interested, she wants to do this, I'm going to move her into interested. And then if I get the call to book, I'm going to move her name over here. I'm going to write her name down here that we booked a call. And then I'm going to write down next to her name, is it an agent? Is it a vendor? Or is it a customer? What is it that I'm talking to this person about? Where is she in my pipeline of, kind of what we're learning about? And that's how I use this. If you write their names down, you're going to remember them. You're going to follow up with them. You're going to have better conversations. If you don't write their names down, you're going to forget to call people. You're going to forget to follow up. You're going to forget to have conversations. This is, when it comes to getting to know the people in your pipeline, this is it. This is what makes the difference. because you don't need to talk to 100 people. You need to talk to 5. You talk to 5, you work that down to 2 or 3 that are interested. Now you have your next 5 and you keep working your pipeline. And if you do this every single day, you're going to know who you need to follow up with. Then you're going to flip back through the page and be like, oh, I forgot to follow up with this one. And you're going to go back and you're going to follow up. But if when you get into Messenger and your Messenger is 100 long, it's really easy to get lost. This helps you stay organized. So thanks, everyone. And I appreciate you guys' time. And we will see you next week. Bye, guys.